All right, we're live. That's a good thing, right? Pumpkin bread, that sounds good. Hi, Rhonda. How's everybody doing? Already see there's an elaborate conversation going on here. That's always kind of fun. Good morning, Bob. Hi, Tracy. Here we go again. Hello, Janine. Like kind of doing his laps around the chair here, so hopefully he'll come up and visit us here pretty quickly. Oh, Logan has a Band-Aid for my finger. Actually, my finger is doing good. You almost can't even tell. It's a little dark skin right there from it, but it is completely healed up. I don't think I'm actually going to need your Band-Aid, Logan. Thank you, though. I appreciate you thinking of me, and I appreciate your Band-Aid from a few days ago. It really did the trick. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Hardly even tell it's there. I haven't found a good chili recipe yet. I found some stuff that I like that's like, that you can buy like the chili seasonings in a box and then you throw in your own materials. But in terms of a good chili recipe from scratch, I haven't found anything yet. I'd love to have a good one. Yeah, all better. It was amazing because I mean, I only had my hand on there for probably a tenth of a second. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, wow, that was hot. I thought I was taking precautions to protect myself, but, I knew there was a danger getting burned from that thing. But yeah, that superheated steam that went right through that towel. So won't make that mistake again. Sometimes the best lessons are the most painful ones. I'm generally a no bean kind of person just because beans tend to make me toot. Generally, the recipes that take a day to make are the best. If you feel like sending it to me, I'll take a look at it. The beauty of doing vlogs, I don't have to shoot it all at once. There have been a number of times where I said, okay, well, I got to wait a day now to finish this off. I'll see you next scene. So that's entirely possible. If you're willing to share, I'd love to see it, especially if it's a good recipe. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun either, Logan. I do have a Betty Crocker cookbook. My mom gave me one. She used to have a Betty Crocker cookbook when we were kids. So when I moved out on my own, she got me one too. Unfortunately, all the modern cookbooks now, they're all healthy, and so the old cookbooks are way better. So I'm hoping at some point that old Betty Crocker cookbook that my mom still has, that I hope I end up with that at some point. Hello, Suzanne. It's a good recipe. Definitely send it. I'll check it out. Like I said, I don't have to shoot a video on one day. There's a lot of videos that you guys see from me that are shot over a period of a few days. I mean, the one where I revisited the glasses issue, that was shot over a period of what, 2 weeks. Sometimes I also lie to you a little bit. I say, oh yeah, it's a couple hours later, when in reality it's the next day. I sometimes have to go back and say, okay, what was I wearing? Because I want to wear the same thing. I don't want people noticing, wait, it's 2 hours later and you're wearing a different outfit. Yeah, Logan probably should have listened. I do like a good chili. Like I said, there's a prepackaged chili thing I found here in Texas that I really like. You basically put in your own what it's the chili mix that comes in the box, and it's like a couple pounds of ground beef and what I think some chicken broth and a few other things. And then they suggest as if you want to spice it up a little bit, that they recommend you put a couple serrano peppers in there. And of course, you know me, I love spicy things, so I always do that. Yeah, yeah, I'm a liar and my pants are on fire. Yeah, I know. I read about that the other day. Louise Fletcher. I was a huge fan. She was, for those who like Suzanne said, she was on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I was also a fan. I'm a Star Trek nerd, as you know, and she played a character on Deep Space Nine, a truly unlikable character there too. She seemed to be kind of typecast in that kind of a role. In fact, I was reading about her recently, and apparently, when she won the Academy Award for her role as Nurse Ratched, she got up in front of the audience and said, "I know all of you hate me," but I think during that same speech, she thanked her parents who are both deaf by signing a a message just to them. So she was an extraordinary person. Hello, Mark. Bill says the stream is laggy today. Is everyone having that? Anyone else seeing that? How did I burn my hand? I burned it on the Instant Pot. I was trying to make a. I did that video a week or so ago where I was having problems with my Instant Pot, and in the process of trying to correct the problem, I actually got too close to the hot steam and ended up burning my hand. I put some cortisone on it. I have some cortisone cream, and I put that on there immediately, and then just basically took care of it for a while, protected it. But whatever it did, it worked. That's the hand right there. I had second degree burns all along in here, and I kind of had a little skin peel off here and a little around here too. But I'm 100%. Doesn't even I don't even feel it anymore. So there are a couple of canned chilies that I like too, but I would love to. I if I can, I prefer to make something at home if I can. Hi, Bill. Well, we're glad you're back. Well, maybe if we do some vegetarian recipes, then we can add Flash to the bite and nibble videos. I mean, in a reality, the video I did of what Flash likes to eat could be considered a bites and nibble video, right? The only difference is I didn't eat it. Well, I mean, I agree. Homemade is always better. Just if no other reason than and then because you're getting exactly what you're getting. You know what's in it because you put it in it. And if you don't like something, you can take it out. Sometimes when you buy something that's pre-prepared, it's the way the manufacturer wants it to taste. That may not be what I'm looking for. What's in the jar behind me? That's a candle I made. I used to play around with making candles, and I kind of got over it. And about the time I was getting ready to move, I had this big box full of like wax and molds and stuff like that. and a bunch of different like dyes for the wax. And I decided, you know what, I don't really want to carry all that junk with me. And so I just made one big kind of layered candle, and I started with a one color, poured a little bit of wax in there, and then changed the color a little bit more. And so it kind of gradually goes from this kind of light blue to dark purple at the top. But yeah, it's just a candle in a big giant pickle jar. But I thought it was kind of cool looking, right? And I burned it a little bit. It's heavy too. Holy cow, it weighs about 8 pounds. Guess it's good you all found allergies that are compatible with each other. It'd be really bad if you could eat one thing and the girls could eat another thing and you couldn't overlap. Yeah, yeah. Best wishes and all that to anyone in Florida. Looks like their lives are going to become interesting in the next few days here. I was just looking at the forecast or the projection for that this morning, and right now, when I first saw it yesterday, it looked like it was kind of going to go kind of hit South Florida from the west side, kind of come in southwest and kind of strafe the state. It seems to be moving a little north now, so it seems going to kind of almost hit like the north end of Florida, kind of where it joins up with the Panhandle there. So I don't know. We're going to watch it over the next couple of days. They're saying that it could become a Category 4 storm, so that's got a potential to be a very powerful storm. I would say if any of you are in the area, leave now because it's not going to do anything but get worse. Getting closer to Silo Screams, closer than you think. I went last night. Last night was the first night I was there. Like I said before, I'm only doing Saturdays this year because I made myself sick last year, from just burning the candles at both ends. So I told John last year I was only going to be able to do Saturdays this year. It's funny because, as I said in the video, I was supposed to be in the incinerator this year. And I've been in the incinerator before. That's where I was when I played Freddy Krueger at the Christmas thing a couple years ago. And also there was a mix-up night last year where basically they took everyone out of their mazes and put them in other mazes. And so while I was the dentist last year, I was the dentist in the incinerator last year. So that was kind of interesting. But I was supposed to be in the incinerator last night, and we got maybe 30 minutes into the night, and somebody came and says, yeah, John needs to move you over to the dentist because there's just not anybody over in that maze. I guess it was kind of short-staffed last night. So I actually spent most of the night over in the dentist. I wasn't even prepared for that because, I'm prepared to wear that mask that I showed you. And so I didn't put any makeup on. So, the only thing I could do is just, mess up my hair and make myself look like a lunatic that way. And of course, I had the apron that I was wearing in the incinerator because I've got this like machete thing that I am supposedly cutting up bodies with and making face masks with, like all a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that. But none of that really worked that well as a dentist. Now, I actually did wear the mask a couple times, but I just had to kind of work with what I had. Do I think it'll hit Texas? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to come this far west. Seems like it's right now. It looks like it's going to go right up, kind of where the peninsula of Florida hits the Panhandle. It looks like that's kind of dead center there where it's going to hit. Okay, yeah. So you definitely want to take care and be careful, Nicholas. Get out if you can. Definitely board up your house. I don't know how. It all kind of depends on how far above sea level you are. Because see, the thing that's the most dangerous about a hurricane is the storm surge. And if I'm correct, if you're south of the eye, that's where the storm surge is going to be worst because the storm rotates counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, which means, if the eye is here and it's going around like this is the area where the wind is going to be blowing all the water up. So depending on how far above sea level you are, you know, you may want to get out. Yeah, I don't doubt that NASA's calling off stuff. Did anyone recognize me at the Silo of Screams? It's funny, one of the other actors came up and said, "Oh, yeah, I've seen you on YouTube." And I actually had somebody that just came through as a guest said, "Oh, that's the guy from YouTube." So I'm getting a little bit recognized. It's probably not so much that they're necessarily following me, but that they're following the Silo of Screams. And a number of my videos are on Silo of Screams, including, I think, the interview I did last year with John. So, if anyone watched those videos, you know, they got a chance to see me, and I guess they recognized me. I was sort of the same way, Rhonda. I never really saw horror movies as this is horrible. What am I? What if this comes after me? It's like I was always looking at it from the perspective. I wonder how they did that. Yeah, sinkholes don't sound like a lot of fun either, Laura. Generally, sinkholes, though, unless it appears right under your house, you have plenty of time. You can say the same about hurricanes and even tornadoes. That's why I kind of prefer it here because while we do have tornadoes, while we do have hurricanes, you generally have a warning it's coming. There is no warning with an earthquake. Tallahassee, okay, that's let's see, I got to refresh my memory where Tallahassee is. I don't know what part of the state that is. Sorry, I don't know everything about every part of the state here. Oh, Tallahassee's up in the Panhandle, so you're going to be a little north of where the eye is at least projected to come. Um, is projected to come ashore. That could all change, but the girls love the mask. Yeah, the mask. Let me get the mask. Hang on. Let me show you this thing. This thing's pretty cool. Yeah, this is the mask here. And yeah, I can see why people think it looks like a pig, but actually, the point is it's supposed to be somebody's face that's been taken off. And so this is actually his ear. See, this is his mouth, and I look out of that as an eye hole. I look out of this as an eye hole, but they got an actual eye over here. Yeah, this thing's horrible. But John basically had a big box of masks like this, and he pulled it out and says, "Yeah, which one do you want?" And I kind of found several of them that I thought were really cool, and this was one of them. And I kind of put them side by side on a table, looked at them, and said, "I want to use this one." So that was really cool. And then of course, he gave me that machete that I used in the video a couple days ago. And he also gave me this thing as a prop. I think this thing's more horrible than even the mask because this thing looks and feels so real. But it's just made out of rubber. It just looks horrible. It's just real horror looking, and I mean it feels so real. So even the eyelashes and eyebrows are feel like real. It's like some sort of fur. So yeah, check that thing out. I'm walking around with this machete in one hand and this thing in the other hand. And that really freaks people out. Let's see, I like to sit back here. So yeah, see, this thing's just a mask, Charlotte and Logan. A little strap to hold it on your head. Here, I'll put my glasses on, show you. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Picture me in like an apron with with blood all over the front, or carrying this in one hand and a machete in the other hand. That'll give people nightmares, right? All right, put my glasses on here so I can see. Oink, oink, oink. Yes, I guess I absolutely see how you see that, because that ear does look like a pig nose. But yeah, it's actually supposed to be his ear. I think that's why I liked it, because it looks like whoever carved up the face, um, you know, just just put the face on sideways. And do I get paid enough at Silo Screams to make it worth it? It's worth it if I don't get paid, and I do get paid. So I do it because I like doing it. I have a blast doing that. It's fun to be a part of something like that. There was a big Halloween bash at Knott's Berry Farm in California, and I knew a bunch of people that went and did that every year. And I often regretted that I didn't sign up and to do it myself. So, so now that I get to participate in something like this, I have a blast doing it, and they have a good time with me there, and it's a bunch of great people. So, where's Bite? Bite is right over here. You kind of see him right there. You gonna come and visit us, Bite? No? Maybe he's freaked out by the mask. Can't find it, can you? Ah, there you go. Now you found it. Yeah, there's our anti-hero here. The only real exercise he gets, chasing food treats around. Maybe we'll see if he'll come up and visit us here. If he'll be a good kitty. Charlotte likes my scary mask. That's cool. I woke the toxic twins. Correct. Great. I'm glad that was the goal. Well, one of the things that's neat about Silo Screams is it kind of starts out kind of slow. Uh, Actually, last night was the first night with actual cast members. The night before, the Friday night, is when they actually opened, and that was what they called low scare night. So there was like nobody in the mazes. It was just the scary scenery and noises from the sound effects and stuff like that, the strobe lights and all that fun stuff. But last night was the first night, and even there, it was really slow. I think I was out of there by about 11. As we get closer to, the thing closes at 11. And so as we get closer to the Halloween season, I'll be there till midnight, 1, 2 o'clock. So as we get closer to it's also going to affect the live streams, because as we get closer to Halloween and I'm there later and later, the live streams are going to get pushed later and later, because I'm going to need to have a little bit of sleep before I start over again. But I think I'm going to use a lot of makeup without mask. Honestly, they gave me the makeup kit to take home, suggesting maybe that I put like scars or something on my arm. And so I might do that. I didn't do that last night. Last night was more about kind of getting used to the role. And like I said, I didn't even end up in the role I was supposed to be in. I was supposed to be in the incinerator, but I was only in there for 20 or 25 minutes. And they said, we need to move you over to the dentist role because the dentist didn't show up tonight. So that's something you didn't have to worry about me last year. I always showed up. How's my mom doing? Mom's doing good. She sent me her typical text blast last night. Basically, only thing that's going on right now is she's talking about the weather. I guess it got a little rain last week, and now they're back to being hot again. So I'm kind of working on her Christmas letter right now. She sent me some special stationery and a letter, and I'm kind of wordsmithing it all together. My mom is not a very technical person, and she depended on my dad to do that when he was alive, and now it's fallen to me. So it's funny too. She was concerned that just not a whole lot happened this year, and so she didn't think she was going to have enough content for a full letter. So her original thought was, well, maybe I'm just going to do like a card with a little note on it or something like that. And then she composed a letter in her emailed it to me, and then said, "Oh yeah, that's right. My brother came up a couple weeks ago. I should mention something there too." And so she wrote another paragraph for that and asked me to insert it into the document. And next thing I know, it's like, Mom, okay, we aren't, this isn't even going to fit on one page anymore. We're going to need 2 pages. So, it's just funny how the planning doesn't always come out the way you expected. She thought, maybe just a card with a picture and a little wish or something like that. But then she got down and wrote a note and found out there was plenty to talk about. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens with the tree in the yard. A number of people think that I should just grind the stump down, and I mean, I suppose that could happen. That would actually not be a bad part in the place of the yard for some sort of a fruit tree. I think somebody suggested that to grind the stump down and put a fruit tree in its place. But I don't know. We're going to see what happens. I am not a person that has to have perfect plants. If it's alive and doing something interesting, even if it's a little funny looking, you know what? I'll deal with it. Well, I could saw the branches off the tree stump. I actually ended up cutting about half of the branches off of there just to make room for the rest of them. Oh, thank you, Charlotte and Logan. I know Nanis loves you too. She was so excited when she got pictures of you two. Jessica's birthday is tomorrow. She'll be 27. Happy birthday, Jessica. That's awesome. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Beth is missing Flash, especially because Beth lost her dog Moxie a few weeks ago. She had to put Moxie down. And so Moxie and Flash were friends. Now, Beth has another dog. Her niece gave Beth her dog, Snowy, because Beth thought that, or because her niece thought that Beth needed her more. Isn't that cute? Where Bite and Nibble? Bite's just over here. Nibble's probably in her room. Yeah, there's Bite right there. Get the TV tray out of the way so you can see his fat butt and fat everything else. Yeah, 27. That's a big one. That's that important milestone between 26 and 28. Yeah, Bite is definitely a mini moo cow. Yeah, Jeff usually pops in, but this live stream starts about the time his church service ends. So, he's got to, he's the pastor, so he's got to do a bunch of, getting things wrapped up, getting everybody out, getting the place closed up, do whatever pastors do at the end of the service. And I think Jeff's church is kind of a small one, so he probably has to do more than most people do at the end of a service. So, but he usually stops in here between church and going out to lunch. Did I freeze the Russian water? Actually, I started it too late. So it was only in the freezer for about 5 minutes, so it didn't freeze this time. And it's not as cold either. Bummer, but that's the way it goes. Of course, we are 30 minutes into the live stream, so I guess I can't expect it to stay cold forever, right? I always think it's funny. The conversation always lags about 30 minutes. I always drop an ad right in that spot because it's like there's always like a big gap right there. Are you a fluffy cow bite or just a mini moo cow? I suppose you could be a mini moo fluffy cow, right? How are my niece and nephew? Really good. My niece is back to college again. I think she's in her final semester, I think. And as you know, I think my nephew just became a paramedic, so he's very excited about that. He's pulling real shifts now. I guess he's on what they call probation, but he's doing like what 48-hour or 72-hour shifts or something like that. We're proud of you. You killed a spider all by yourself. I'll tell you what. Next step is to get to capture the spider live and transport it outside. That's what I do. I don't kill spiders. Spiders are good. Mosquitoes, flies, that stuff. That's open season. But spiders, spiders are good. So I try and help spiders. Spiders get a sanctuary in my yard. In fact, you may remember a couple of weeks ago, the cover of the live stream then was a spider web, with a spider in it. It was really well lit from the back, and I thought, oh, that would be a great cover photo. That spider is still there. It's never going to happen in your bed. Yeah, well, I guess I can sort of see that, but I don't let them get close enough to my bed. But I do find spiders in here. This is Texas after all. You open the door for just a second, something's coming in. Occasionally it's like lizards and chameleons and stuff like that. I saw like a chameleon get in a few days ago and immediately took refuge under something. I couldn't find it. And then like 2 days later, I saw it stuck to the side of the glass on the door going out of the backyard. So I captured it and moved it outside. So many spiders there. Yeah. Spiders are creepy crawly, but they're good for the environment. So I let them live. 45 hours this week. I kind of do that too because I'm 3 days one week and 4 days the next week, and so one week is 36 hours, the next week is 48 hours. So I just finished a 48-hour week, not counting silo screams, and I got a little overtime too. Yeah, it's Rhonda's vacation time when she goes to work. Short staff. That seems to. Yeah, you said something about all the kids went back to school or something, right? Yeah, that sounds a little short-sighted of management. They probably should have said, "Well, yeah, these guys are all going back to school. We better do something about this." Someone dropped the ball. Any more household repairs? I got to do something with the garbage disposal. It's plugged up again for some reason. That'll probably be a video at some point. Let's see, what do I got? I got like 3 other videos that are up right now. Let's see if I can figure out what they are. There's like videos I did last week, so I don't remember exactly which ones they are. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, okay, there's that. A cooking video. And okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I got one thing that could basically be considered a home improvement. Not exactly, but it was kind of a funny story. It'll be the next video you see on Tuesday. I had to improvise something because my lawnmower shredded it. I ran over it with a lawnmower and the lawnmower shredded it. So I had to, and I couldn't find a replacement part. So yeah. Well, I can't speak for what's going on in Canada. I know in the United States, it's a lot of people are. It's more profitable not to work. You know, you got the government paying people to stay home. You know, paying people for being unemployed, and they're getting so much money that they're making more money staying home doing nothing than they are going to work. Because we were just having a meeting with the boss. I've mentioned I got some overtime at work this week. One of the things we had was a meeting between us and management about 2 layers above my boss, and they were concerned. You know, one of the things that came up is issues with it with getting people to work, and we just can't get people. We can't fill the department. We are 4 people down right now, and they get maybe one resume a month, and they aren't quality people. So stay-at-home payments have stopped. Okay, yeah. See, I don't know what's going on in Canada then, but we're facing it here in Texas and United States, and that's what's happening here. You like watching the garden? That's great. Yeah, I love having a garden. In fact, I'm sort of thinking at some point I may expand it. I've thought about putting a greenhouse over that whole area. That may happen at some point. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of President Biden, but my opinion of Trudeau isn't isn't any better. So yeah, see that I think that's the reason why I would like to expand my garden is because you know there's only so much I can grow. I mean, I got two 4 foot by 8 foot beds, but there's only so much you can grow in that. You know, especially when the okra at 10 feet tall. Yep. It would appear, Dana, that the it appear that the YouTube police got you. I wouldn't have actually. I wouldn't have actually deleted that one, Rhonda. I was actually going to make that one visible. But I think words like sucks. I think that's one of the words that triggers YouTube. Somebody ought to try posting, "Gee, my vacuum cleaner really sucks," just to see what happens. I bet you that would trigger YouTube. I haven't seen any snakes in the yard, no. In fact, the truth is, I think I've only seen 2 snakes in all of Texas. At least not ones that aren't. No, see, it didn't trigger that. That's weird. At least ones that weren't in cages and stuff like that. I've seen, zoos and stuff like that. Maybe it just doesn't like Trudeau sucks. Yeah, well, I can see how much somebody might think that, Spaniel Mom, but generally business is in the business of doing business, and if they have to improve the um, improve the benefits and improve the pay to get people, that's what they're doing. That's what a market-based economy does. That's supply and demand. When demand is high and supply is low, prices go up. So I don't see that being the problem necessarily. I mean, I know the company I work for, is constantly reevaluating their wage scale, and it's reevaluating it up, adding benefits and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, right. And maybe YouTube's problem was just with Dana's comment was just that it likes Lowe's. Meow. You gonna come up here? Come on up. We got kitty treats. Don't just sit there and meow at me. Come on up. You know you're gonna. There you go. I knew you'd join us eventually. Back the camera off a little bit here so you can see him. There's our hero, right? We'll just be preemptive here. We'll do a belly rub without even being asked. Belly rub time. I'm still eating the okra that was in the gumbo. I still got a little bit of that left. I'll probably finish that this weekend. And actually, I think I put some okra in a recipe that I did last week too. So you'll see a little bit of that. That's what I'm kind of doing a lot of is taking recipes that, hey, I think okra might be good in this and putting it in it. I like to look on Bite's face. Yeah, he's definitely conflicted on the belly rubs because one thing he's not really one for being handled. He likes to be pet and massaged and like that, but it's got to be on his terms. He wants to have the ability to leave because if he gets to the point where he's annoyed, he'll just walk off. But when he's being held, It's a little hard to do, but I think he does really like the belly rubs anyway. It's a veggie. How can you go wrong? Yeah, I'm finding that they can go in a lot of things. You may recall about a year or so ago. Well, for Christmas, like a year ago, my mom got me some wild rice and stuff like that, and a couple of like soup mixes with different kinds of beans. And I made one of those last week, and I put some okra in that. Logan's kissing Bite on the TV. Okay, well, let's give you a close up here to kiss here. There's a close up for you to kiss. You see the anger in his eyes. He's like, why are you holding me? You know I don't like this. Yeah, the okra has definitely been the success story of the year. Kissed him right on the nose. All right. Kissed you right on the nose. You know that? You just got kissed on the nose. Yeah, and it's still growing. I think it's kind of coming to the end now, though, because what I'm noticing is that after the plant gets to a certain height, the leaves stop. But there's like a stalk going up the center that's still producing okra. But at some point, that's going to have to end. We're kind of getting out of the season right now. So, we may not see much more okra, but it's been a very, very successful crop this year. All the veggies in the pots died, huh? That's a drag. Yeah, I don't know if that was amused, Laura Lee. I think that was, I'm going to kill you. Right, Bite? You're going to wait till I'm sleeping sometime and then you're going to come and lay on my face or something and suffocate me. That's what you're going to do, aren't you? Yep. How are the peppers doing? Actually, I got a couple of peppers that are actually growing. One serrano and one jalapeno, and that may be all I get. I actually got one tomato off the plant too, which really kind of blew me away. I went out there a couple of nights ago. Oh, there's a tomato! Plump into the mouth. That was it. Didn't even make it in the house, but it was good. It was a yummy tomato. But yeah, we got a couple peppers coming, so I don't know. We'll have them for dinner some night. Your skinny pig loves tomatoes. I never gave tomatoes to my guinea pigs when I was a kid. I don't know. It never dawned on me to be something they'd like. They got the carrots, they got the lettuce, they got the celery, occasional cucumber, something like that. And they loved all that. But we never tried tomatoes. All your peppers were insane. You have several bags of frozen peppers. I'm the same way in with okra. I've got those like sandwich bags that I've been filling with okra, and I probably got 10 of those in the freezer. So Tracy says you're really beautiful, Bite. What do you think of that? Huh? Are you really beautiful? Well, is that a yes? Yeah, I figured. You know it. Your skinny pig likes eggplant too. I've never developed a taste for eggplant, so I don't know what Flash would do with eggplant. She'll probably never find out because I ain't gonna buy the thing. Just not into it, right, Bite? Yeah, I'm not really one for freezing veggies that much. I kind of prefer my veggies fresh, so I buy enough that to keep me going for a week or so, and then that's it. You make eggplant lasagna for yourself. All right. I guess I've heard of people doing that. Like I said, I never developed a taste for it, so it wasn't my thing. Hi, Kathy. How are you? I'm not really sure Bike could pull his girth up into a tree, to be honest, Lauralee. He's almost not, he's almost too fat now to be able to jump up on the shelves. Almost concert time. Yeah, less than a week. Gonna be at the concert next week, next Saturday. It's supposed to be somewhat nice too, so I hope it is. It's been really hot lately, but we're supposed to have like a cold front come through here tonight. And it's gonna be in the 90s during the day and 60s at night. That's gonna be great. Your vet said celery was not good for the rabbit because the shavings that come off of them, the celery hairs. You probably yeah, it's probably too much cellulose, maybe. I don't know. The guinea pigs loved it, and Flash loves it. Flash loves celery. Absolutely loves celery. Heck, I like celery. So wow, wow. I don't know. Do you want that? Or do you want the brush? You want the brush, don't you? All the cat hair off of it. You got too much cat hair, dude. That is one satisfied cat. Help yourself kitty treats here. He's getting to the point where they're so far down in the jar though he can't reach them anymore. Right? You get your head stuck in there. Yes, you are. Oops. Hey, now that's enough. You're fat enough. Plus, I'm neglecting my audience. And you are too. You know that, right? It's really inconsiderate. They tuned in out of their own time to watch you. What are you doing? You're sticking your head in the kitty treat jar. Yeah, you should be ashamed. Actually, I agree with you. Celery tastes great in tuna. And I like it with peanut butter too. Who are the people behind me? Those are people that I've met over the years. These three posters here are original posters from Jordan's band Candyland Riots. That is right there is my laser disc of Reanimator, and I actually had Jeffrey Combs, the actor from the movie, autograph it for me. Uh, that picture there is a picture of me with a member of the Blue Man Group. Um, this is a photo of a guy named Daniel McBride, who was in a TV show called Eastbound and Down. I got him to autograph that. Top row is a picture of me and Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs is a guy in this movie. This is something that Jordan got me. On one of his albums, he had famous film actor, what's his name? From Kevin McCarthy from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Jordan met him late in his life and got him to do a voiceover on one of his albums. And he got me a autographed promotional photo of Kevin McCarthy, of a clip from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So he gave me that. That there's a picture of me and Curtis Armstrong. Curtis Armstrong played Booger in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That picture there is a picture of me with Victoria Price. That's Vincent Price's daughter. And that picture right there is a picture of me and Robert Pollard, the singer of Guided by Voices. So that's who all those people are. Hello, Madisonian. Yeah, only Bite goes crazy over the brush. I would guess if Nibble would ever give me a chance, she'd probably like it too, but she just doesn't like to get that close. It's funny, I'm looking out my window right now. The neighbor across the street has one of those sprinkler heads that you lay out and hook the hose to. It goes like this and back and forth like that. And it's funny, we're on a watering ban. But they say you can water by hand if you want. I don't know if what he's doing counts counts that way, but whatever. Haven't seen Jeff yet. Your cat is a grooming fiend. Yeah, Bite and Nibble are too. Bite loves the brush. Nibble just doesn't like people in general. So whatever. I've always said that Bite is my cat and Nibble is his cat. Take the brush in her room, put it in front of her, and see what she does. Yeah, I don't think she'll do anything with it. Bite'll rub his face off on it if he can. That's just he loves that thing so much. How's my mom doing? My mom's doing good. Basically, her weekly blast to me on text message basically just talked about the weather. So she said hi to Charlotte and Daniel, though, or Charlotte and Logan. Losing Tracy. Tracy's got to go do her chores. Thanks for stopping in, Tracy. Good talking to you. Yeah, my cat has a cat. It's his sister, and he's protective of her unless she's getting the kitty treat first. That's true. Jeff may be preparing for the hurricane. That actually, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you might be right. Because he's got both a church and a house he's got to deal with. We may not hear from Jeff today. I didn't think about that, but that's a really good point. Yeah, I agree. Let's pray that he's safe. I think he's far enough inland that I don't think that there'll be a storm surge issue with him. But and that's usually the most dangerous part of a hurricane is not the wind but the storm surge. I got to admit, I'm looking at this thing right now. It doesn't look like a hurricane, but I guess they're just calling it a tropical storm at this point. Usually, hurricanes have a very defined eye and they're spinning. It's just a powerful storm right now. But I guess it hasn't hit the point yet where um, it began rotating. But it's definitely getting stronger. And Jamaica looks like it's having fun right now. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Is everyone getting ready for Halloween? Oh, absolutely. We live in Southeast Alabama. You got hit by Hurricane Michael a few years ago, and it was moving towards Panama Beach, just like this one. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Next couple of days will be the answer here. Let me see what the latest on this thing is here. Yeah, see, that's the current track right now for it. So yeah, it looks like it's kind of this will be Florida right here. Oops, would help if I get it on the screen here. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So yeah, that looks like all of Florida is kind of in the mix there, including looks like Alabama and Mississippi and all that fun stuff. That's all right there. Alabama, Georgia. Let's see, what are they looking at? Looks like it should make landfall by about Tuesday night. So next couple of days, they're going to tell the story. Last I heard, Amigo's doing really well. He's still doing his training, but he's starting to adjust to life with the kids. Yeah, yeah, I heard them say it was going to become a category 4, maybe. We'll see. We were in Jamaica for Hugo, huh? Your niece and a couple of her kids came over yesterday to decorate your house for Halloween. That's awesome. Wish I could get somebody to come over and do mine, but they're gonna have to get up in trees and stuff like that. So probably not gonna get a lot of volunteers there. I'm definitely looking forward to doing Halloween at my place. So this year, I've already been to Spirit Halloween and bought some stuff, and think I want to get some more. I want to get another smoke machine, and I got to find all my strobe lights. I'm not sure where all my strobe lights are. I always say it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's Halloween here. There you go. Don't really do Halloween there. No, that's a shame too because I love Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. Hey, there's Jeff. We knew he'd pop up eventually. We were wondering if you were batting down the hatches for the hurricane. Yeah, yeah. Fiona has basically had its way with a lot of A lot of the countries in the Caribbean. Yeah, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do Halloween wise, but I got a few weeks to work that out. That big thing that I used to hang in my front yard, I'm sure I got a picture of it here. Hang on. Sure don't make it easy to find stuff on YouTube here or on Facebook. Got to press like 12 buttons to get to your photo gallery. There we go. But not that one. I got a couple Halloween albums on my Facebook page here. There's Christmas. There's a Halloween. I used to have this guy hanging in my front yard in Halloween. I had a two-story house, and so he'd be at the front of the house, top, hanging from the top gable there. And he'd hang all the way down to the ground. He's probably a good 20 feet tall. I'm hoping to break him out this year and maybe hang him in one of the trees. I think he'll look cool in a tree. There's him at night. He's kind of cool. His eyes glow and stuff like that. So I still got him, and I want to maybe put him up this year. Jeff's having problems with his connection. That's no good. Yeah, if you're 5 miles from the ocean, depends on how high up you are. That's what the issue is. And they'll predict what the storm surge will be, and you got to figure out if the storm surge is going to be higher than the elevation you are. And if it is, you need to get out. Yeah, Jeff's making plans. Yeah, I bet. Well, it's got to be more complicated for Jeff too, because he's got to not only deal with his house, but also the church, because he's going to be in charge of both. Amigo goes to board and train tomorrow. All right. Losing Gene to church time here. That seems to happen here. Yeah, I wish I could show you a whole bunch of what I'm going to do for Halloween, but I don't really want to have any pictures out there of my house. I hope you understand. Maybe I'll try and get a few images out there. I went over to Spirit Halloween last weekend, I think, and bought some new fake tombstones. I got such a big yard right now, and I only had like 5 tombstones, and it just didn't seem like that was going to be enough. So, we're going to have more this year, and I don't know. I might go buy a new smoke machine or some strobe lights or something like that. I don't know. I want to do Halloween good this year. At least one time to see what kind of a reaction I get. I don't know what happens for Halloween, although I got kind of a idea of it last year because when I was going to Silent Screams last year for Halloween night was like on a Sunday, I think. And so rather than going from work to there, I was coming from here to go to Silent Screams. And I noticed when I was driving away to go up there were kids all over the place in costumes. So I want to at least see what happens this year. I hope I get a lot of visitors. I used to get, in the house in California, I did Halloween every year. It was the biggest attraction in the neighborhood. And I mean, I had people come from miles around year after year after year to see my attraction. So and I'd have 80 or 100 kids every year coming to visit. So I'm hoping I can kind of duplicate that. You have mostly retirees there. Yeah, I'm guessing uh, it's a different type of person that comes if they're a retiree doing Halloween trick or treating. Yeah, Halloween's fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. I haven't done a Halloween now at my house in 4 years, so looking forward to it. Christmas and Halloween, those are the big decorating holidays for me. Yeah, yeah, I did show you a bunch of what was in the garage and what I have in the garage, but I think it's more it has more of an impact when you see it all together and out in the yard. And I don't know. I think maybe if I'm careful, I can do some video of what I'm doing without showing where I am. Because if I, go in close enough and just aim at the ground and not look at the house, not look at the houses around me, I think I could probably do something. So there'll probably be something. And if I wait until it gets dark and show things in trees and stuff like that, then hey, bye, you coming back to visit? You're the youngest on your street and you are old, huh? Well, I'll get the girls though. So that drags the average down a little bit. Yeah, and I won't film the outside of the house, but it's possible I can do just like I said, close up shots of things and with care, being careful of what's in the background, making homemade spaghetti for lunch. That sounds good. I like homemade spaghetti. Turkey sounds good for dinner too. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for dinner yet. We'll cross that bridge. I'm basically just getting up, so it's just the start of my day. One of your neighbors is building a whole witch house for. I've thought it'd be fun to do some haunted maze that goes through my backyard, and I bet you I could do that. Because it's nice. I got two gates, one on each end of the yard, so I could start them in one gate, have them go through the backyard, wind around, and then come out the other gate. Making some chicken noodle soup for your sick grandson. That sounds like a good deal. Gee, I'm feeling a little sick. Maybe I could use some soup too. Just kidding. I feel fine. I just want soup. I could definitely do it. It would just be a matter of, how do I build it? How do I make the maze and all that fun stuff? It'd have to be a type of thing that I can make and then take apart. Yeah, corn mazes are fun. What did I make with all that wild rice? Really, I've got a lot of it left. So, I was talking to her. She mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and that was kind of what inspired me to do a soup recipe that you'll see in a couple of days. But I got to do more with wild rice because I got like 10 pounds of wild rice here. It's insane. Probably 5 pounds of wild rice. And that's a whole lot of meals. But I kind of like my cream of mushroom soup, fresh mushrooms, and wild rice soup that I've been known to make from time to time. I did a vlog on that once. You have to check it out because that's just a really good hearty meal. Your best friend is decorating her house all in Pennywise. That'd be spooky. A lot of red balloons, I bet, right? You're quarantined because of the your immune system. Yeah, Halloween's a bad time to be sick, but that's okay. We'll try and take you some fun places. One of the things John at Silo Scream said this year is that generally he discourages people to film inside the haunted house because he says that the videos they make aren't very good, and he thinks it makes the thing look hokey. But he's basically given me open permission to film in there all I want. So you'll definitely see some stuff from Silo Screams. You're hoping you go to Not Scary Farm. Yeah, I haven't been to Not Scary Farm in a long time, but it was something a couple of friends of mine and I used to do every year when we were in high school. Yeah, that's how long it's been. But I can only imagine that Not Scary Farm has got to be much better now. Now that they've had like 50 years to perfect it. Disneyland used to do Halloween stuff too, but it was more Disney version of Halloween, so it was more fun than scary. So that was the difference. You had Disneyland, you had Knott's Berry Farm, which are probably less than 10 miles from each other. And if you have a choice, if you have the young kids that maybe might be freaked out by really scary things, then you go to Disneyland. But if you get little older kids that, maybe teens or a little older, they're going to they're going to enjoy the Knott's Berry Farm thing much better because not Scary Farm. There's actually a lot of scary stuff that they do there. Did I buy candy yet? No. If I buy candy now, I'll eat it. Plus the fact it'll go bad by then. I'll buy candy like in the week before or something like that. But that's one of the things I do is buy a lot of candy. The girl's afraid of fireworks and candles, but like scary masks. Yeah, that is funny. I would not. That's backwards from what you'd think. And you like my crystal skull too, right? That's Halloween, isn't it? And we'll tip him on the side now so we can get a profile of him. Charlotte likes the skull. All right. I got that at Disneyland actually. There's like in the Pirates of the Caribbean section, one of the gift shops there. I saw that and said, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm going to get one of those." They had like one that was black. It looked like a obsidian glass or something like that, but it was just made of plastic. And then this one, which was clear, and I thought this one looks really cool. You like how he glows? Yeah, he's just, that isn't even something it's supposed to do. It's just a piece of clear kind of plastic. But I got this light that has LEDs in it, changes colors. And actually, let me show you something here. I got to get up and walk away again. I do that all the time, don't I? Funny how comfortable I'm getting walking away from the camera during a live stream. Actually, the light thing is something that I got from my mom, and it actually came with this thing. This is it's a piece of glass that has what looks like a jellyfish molded into it. And basically, what you're supposed to do is put this on top of it, and this is what's supposed to be there. But I thought, you know what, that's cool too. But I just think the skull looks really cool on it. So, but that's not bad either, right? The girls still have the bats hanging over their beds. That's great. Charlotte loves jellyfish. Jellyfish are pretty. You just want to stay away from them. They're bad news if you touch one, but they're really cool. I've seen people that have like jellyfish in aquariums. But yeah, he's pretty cool too. Like I said, I actually like him on the light better. This thing's cool too. But yeah, okay, she fell in love with him in an aquarium. Yeah, like I said, I've seen people that have them in aquariums. So I think it'd be fun to have an octopus in an aquarium too. Problem with octopuses, though, is they're smart, and if you don't have that thing hermetically sealed, they'll figure out how to get out. I love the colors of octopus and how they can change their color. She's a glow in the dark shirt with a jellyfish on it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, my mom comes up with some really cool ideas sometimes. It was actually my mom and my dad, but I'm sure it was mostly my mom because that sounds like something, that looks like something right there that she'd look at that and say, "Oh yeah, Brett would love that." My dad was always the one that was finding cool tech. So something technology that he thought I'd like. That was I could always tell the things that he got me. Yeah, Disneyland Halloween decorations are always really cutesy, and that's not for me. When I'm doing my Halloween decorations, I'm creating the impression I want it to be scary. You know, the big success in my house in California was if it was so scary the kids wouldn't come in the backyard. That was like I got a point every time that happened. Logan is a smart kid. Scarier is better. She says, I'm not afraid, Uncle Breck. I'm a big girl. Yes, you are, Logan. You're a big girl. I'm really looking forward to doing Halloween. No, I got such a big yard that it's going to be one of those things that, one of the things I always did in California is I always tried to add something new every year. And so, um, I got a big yard to grow into. I could do a massive Halloween display. I also got to figure out what I'm going to do this year for Christmas because that's another thing that I want to add to every year. She got a die cast car for Christmas or for her birthday. That's cool. Yeah, I could see how Universal Studios Halloween attraction might be a bit intense. That's a movie set, especially our movie studio, especially a movie studio known for making horror movies. So I would bet you they could really pull out all the stops too. Chase Elliott test car, huh? Daddy broke down and got it. Yeah, Daddy's a good guy. Daddy's a good daddy. Right, Bite? Have I talked to Jordan lately? We don't really talk that much. Everything we do is through, either texting or I think he commented on one of my videos recently. I think it was the Silo Screams one. I think he says I'm going to go there every year until I die. He may be right. They have them wrapped around their little finger. That's how it is usually with daddies and daughters. Daughters love daddies and daddies love daughters. So those two things just go together. The scare actors there sometimes jump out and get a little in your face. I tend to do that at Silo Screams too. I'm kind of a big guy to begin with. I think that's why John likes me. And then I'll wear a pair of work boots that give me 2 inches. And so I hover over people and just get right in their face. So I can be intimidating, especially when I'm wearing something like this. Yeah, that'll freak people out. And if that doesn't, this will. This thing even feels gross. I have no reason to believe that they don't want me to come back to Silo of Screams, so we'll do it until either I get bored of it or something happens that I can't do it anymore. Yeah, we have sort of a no touch rule at Silo of Screams, but usually when you're getting really, I think the no touch is no grab actually. I do get in people's face and I'll like walk right behind them and, get right in their face and stuff like that. And well, like I said a little earlier, John said he's cool with me shooting video and putting it on the vlog. So there will be some video you'll see at some point. I didn't shoot any last night. I didn't even shoot any pictures last night because, it was almost like a dress rehearsal. Yeah, like I said, we have a no touch rule at Silo of Screams. And of course, the one rule always in a haunted house is the spook is going to go after the person who screams and makes the most commotion. So if you're just the person to sit there and laugh or just kind of walk through and kind of be real nonchalant about it, you'll be ignored pretty much. But if you're the person that's screaming hysterically and running away and doing all this kind of stuff, count on it. We're going after you. Yeah, I could see how Silo Screams would be too intense for some people. I mean, it's too intense for some of the people who go through there. I was talking to somebody there who talks about scaring people so much that they curl up in the fetal position on the ground. And I've scared a number of people over the years so much that they end up, sitting on the ground, huddled in the corners. So, that's just part of the fun. You'd think you'd be immune by now. You scream the loudest at haunted scream houses. Yeah, and that's going to make you the target of every person in there. Did a Girl Guide stare at a scary house one year when Jessica was little. It was so much fun. Yeah, that sounds like fun. All right, let's sit back here because I can. Logan seems to fall over laughing a lot. Charlotte runs around the corners and screams boo all the time. And you have to say, you scared me. And she falls over laughing. That's awesome. I see a future participant at a haunted house. She's doing that at her age, and she's all right with me. She's an extremely happy girl. That's good. I'm sure little Charlotte's an extremely happy girl too, right? Right, Charlotte? We're not leaving you out. You gonna come and work Silo Screams with me, Logan? It's funny. I have actually seen kids that work in there. It's like a multiple generation thing where the parent comes and has come for a number of years, and now some of the kids are coming too. Well, I realize when I go through the Halloween things that I'm the person that I hate the most in there because I'm the one that just kind of sits there and takes the whole thing in, and occasionally laughs. My favorite reaction on haunted in the haunted house is when people scream and get scared. That's when I get a good scream out of somebody. That's the reason I do all that. To loan out some Halloween inflatables to the Ronald McDonald House. That's cool. I bet you the kids there love that. Oh, okay, she's on her way. All right. I'll call John. Tell him to let him know that we're going to have a new cast member this year. Okay, I understand the comment now. I was wondering what childhood teams had to do with anything. That'd be a great house to have for Halloween, though. An old house that overlooks a spooky cemetery. I'd go to town on a place like that. She wants to be Annabelle. All right. Oh, well, I got home by about 11:30 last night. I didn't actually get to bed until about 1. What's a good bad horror movie? Let's see. I got to think of a good bad horror movie. I mean, anything by Ed Wood. I mean, I think sometimes like Night of the Living Dead, old classics like that. They're not bad, but they're cheesy, especially today. But I love a good movie like that. Night of the Living Dead is a classic. You can't go wrong with that one. And of course, one of my favorite ever horror movies is Reanimator. And of course, I'm a child of the slasher generation in the early '80s. So I'm always going to be a friend of Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. The Scream thing, that was sort of after my time. I never really was into that. They got a little silly, I thought. What are the cats going to do on Halloween? Probably sleep. See, one of the things with Halloween, generally when I do Halloween, I'm going to be out there in the yard because more often than not, people don't come up to the door. In fact, when I did the Halloween in California, my front door was in the backyard, and so basically, I just had something that covered the door. Nobody even there was there, and I'd just be out in the backyard, and if anyone came up, they got the candy in the yard among all the stuff that I had, the smoke machines, the black lights, the strobe lights, and all that fun stuff. And I'll probably do the same thing here. Your niece has a Freddy tattoo. That's great. Freddy was always my favorite too. I think of the big three of Michael, Jason, and Freddy. It's Freddy. You know, Michael and Jason were both scary, but Freddy was scary and funny, and that's what I think what I really liked about him. He'd kill you in the most horrible ways, but he'd joke at you while he was doing it. Yeah, I like Victorian style houses too because they would be so much fun for Halloween. No, I'm really over the Halloween sequels. There's been too many of them. I haven't really seen a whole bunch of the sequels that I thought were really good. Or at least they don't live up to the original. In terms of the Halloween movies, there isn't a Halloween movie that's as good as the original with Jamie Lee Curtis. Same with the original Friday the 13th. You can show all the rest of them. Now. The Nightmare on Elm Street series, I thought there were several good ones there. First one was good. The third one was, I think, one of the best. And the fourth one isn't bad. Fright Night's a good movie too. Yeah, it's not what you'd really think, but yeah, it's actually not a bad movie at all. And there's some great comedy in that too. I have Fright Night on DVD. You have an uncle named Fred. All right, there you go. You ever call him Freddy? When you get there, tell him Freddy sent you. Yeah, a lot of times sequels, it's just about cashing in on the popularity of the first one. And oftentimes the first one was great because, um, it was an original idea and nobody ever seen anything like that before. But at that point, then you just start trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like, okay, what else can we have Freddy do? Or what else can we have Jason do? Or what else can we have Michael do? Yeah, Johnny Depp was in the original Nightmare. I remember that. He was like one of Freddy's first victims. He was what the lead character. I don't remember what her name was, but he was her girlfriend. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You've seen my Halloween. In fact, a few years before that, Jordan actually was at my house for Halloween and actually played a character. He dressed up in a gorilla suit and was And it was really weird too because the whole rest of my yard was like a cemetery theme, but then you got a gorilla and a crown running around. It's like, okay, that's weird. I did see that earthquake that hit Mexico. That was a big one. That was like a seven something, 7.6, I think. And that was a subduction fault too. Those are scary. That's the worst kind of earthquake is a subduction fault. To you, the best Halloween movie is The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Well, anything with Don Knotts is going to be great. You just know that. Yeah, well, it's like aging musicians. They say this is going to be the end of the tour here, and then, oops, sorry, just kidding. Need more money. How many times has Streisand retired? You live in Mexico City. Did you feel it? Because it wasn't. As I when I looked at the location of it, it wasn't far from Mexico City. I don't think. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Yeah, see, there it is. Oops, let's get it. Let's get it on the screen here. Get it so I can see it. But yeah, that yellow dot right there, that is it. And then like Mexico City is just right here. So yeah, that was a big earthquake. Let's see what remind myself what it was here. What is it? That one. It's that one here. I was going to do it this way here. Magnitude, yes. Largest first. Yeah, 7.6 on the 19th, 1 p.m. local time here, Texas. So it must have been like, what, 11 in the morning or something like that. 7.6 earthquake. That's a big, big earthquake. Poultrygeist. Cher's had her final concert about 10 times. Yeah, right. Well, even Guided by Voices did it. I went to the what was supposed to be the final show in 2004. They called it the electrifying conclusion, and they're still out. They're still touring. It was the last show with that band, but two of the members of that band are in the band now. So it just happens. I think sometimes they underappreciate how much they enjoy going out and being with the fans. And after a while, it's like, geez, I really missed that. We ought to do this again. See, I don't even necessarily think a lot of times it's about money. I think a lot of times they just like being on stage. Yeah, I've heard about people's pets responding early to earthquakes. I've never heard minutes before. Usually it's a few seconds before, and there's people who think that animals react to something called a P wave. That actually, because you have two primary waves in an earthquake. Well, you have four really, but the two we're going to talk here are called the P and the S wave. And the P wave travels faster than the S wave does. And so if you're capable of, and they say animals maybe are capable of detecting these P waves, and that's why birds all take flight before an earthquake. Dogs and cats and animals will become very agitated because of that. I haven't seen anything that definitively proves that, but we do know that there are P waves. We can see them on seismographs, so it isn't implausible that an animal could respond to that. California is like 50 years overdue for a big earthquake. That's another reason why I wanted to get out of California. I can't stand earthquakes. I've been through a number of them. I remember Northridge. I remember Sylmar. I remember Whittier Narrows. None of those were fun. And those weren't even really big earthquakes. Those were fives and sixes. That was a 7.6 in Mexico a couple of days ago. That's 100 times more powerful than any earthquake I've ever felt. Because every time you go up a whole number in the magnitude, you go from a 6 to a 7 on the Richter scale. That's 10 times more energy being released. Or 10 times more shaking, 30 times more energy being released. So yeah, no thanks. I don't want to do that. It might be one thing if I was out in the middle of nowhere, there was no buildings around me, and I was sitting on the ground, then okay, this is fun. But now around a building, no way. Yeah, I remember Northridge especially. That was because that one happened in the middle of the night. It was like early morning. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning when it happened. I've heard cats and dogs responding to hauntings too. Yeah, when I lived in California, I lived maybe 3 or 4 miles from the Elsinore Fault, and so there were little earthquakes there all the time. Fortunately, never anything really big, but that's just a matter of time. It was during the MLK. Yeah, I don't remember that specifically, but it could be. Nuclear power plant there is on a fault line. That's no good. That's not a good place to build a nuclear power plant. Just saying. I mean, I guess if it's near the fault line, that's different than being on the fault line, but still. Truth is, nuclear reactors are generally designed to do exactly one thing when an earthquake happens, and that is shut down. I mean, you even think about that nuclear reactor that melted in Japan after the earthquake there. It wasn't the earthquake that actually caused the problem. It was the resulting tsunami that was the problem. The earthquake was designed to hold up to what I think a 7.0 earthquake. That earthquake was an 8.0 earthquake, and the reactor did exactly what it was supposed to do. It shut down. But unfortunately, the idiots that designed the thing with a nuclear reactor, you got to constantly be pumping cool water into it to keep the core cool, to keep the core from melting. And when the power shut off because of the earthquake, it moved to these backup pumps to keep the water circulating through the reactor and keep everything cool. The problem is the water pumps were just right there on the surface. So when the tsunami came in, it wiped out the water pumps and the reactor overheated and melted. So I mean, that was dumb design. Yeah, Northridge was no fun. I did not like Northridge. It's bad enough when it happens when you're awake, and then Whittier Narrows happened when I was awake. But Northridge, when you're sleeping and all of a sudden everything starts shaking. It's like, oh man, here we go. Is this it? Is this the one where my apartment's going to collapse? And don't like them at all. Yeah, those of you in Florida, stay safe because it looks like Tuesday night is when that thing comes ashore. We don't know where yet, but it looks like it's kind of right up there where the Panhandle breaks off from the peninsula. I've got amazing footage of a tsunami in Japan. It's live footage for like an hour. It's an hour or 70 minutes long, and it starts with uh, these people kind of along this canal thing, and you start hearing the alarms come off, and somebody turns the camera and points it towards the canal, and you can actually see the wave coming up the canal, and the water level gets higher and higher and higher, and then it breaches the canal and starts flooding the whole area. It's amazing footage. Yeah, I don't think I would want to be on a third floor of an apartment building. I was on, actually, technically, I was sort of, if you really think about it, I was on the third floor because I was in an apartment much like that Northridge apartment complex that collapsed. It was a two-story building above an elevated garage, and that's what happened in that one in the Northridge uh, apartment complex. Is that the whole two stories on top of it collapsed on top of the garage beneath it. Yeah, everyone stay safe who's in Florida. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye. Make a note of how far inland and of how high above sea level you are, because the dangerous part of a hurricane is the storm surge. And as it gets close, they'll be able to predict what the storm surge is going to be. And if you're at 5 feet above elevation and they're saying there's going to be an 8 foot storm surge, get out. Get out. Be safe. We don't want any. We don't want to have to do a memorial for you. Used to read a book. I read a book once about truckers and the communications they did with CB radio, and there was a sign off that they said that a lot of times they would say, "Drive safe. We like talking to you, not about you." Yeah, be safe in this hurricane. We like talking to you, not about you. Yeah, a lot of people died in the Northridge apartment complex. Look it up sometime. That was the biggest cause of death right there because the whole apartment complex collapsed. It just pancaked. I know. Yeah, I know. We're almost at the 2 hour mark. We're almost done here. During your life, you've experienced too many earthquakes, tornadoes, and hurricanes. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to skip tsunamis. I'm far enough inland and high enough above sea level that I don't really have to worry about that. Tornadoes are an issue, but we got the shelter in the garage. Hurricanes, not so much. They're going to break up by the time they get here. We'll get wind, maybe knock a few trees down, but I don't anticipate any serious problems there. Well, the big one in terms of freeways pancaking was Loma Prieta quake in San Francisco. That was that one that stopped the World Series that one year. Nicholas Johnson is making his famous spaghetti. Send us some, Nicholas. But I guess there were a few freeways that pancaked in Northridge too, because I remember there was like an interchange that collapsed, and One of the fatalities was a police officer who, after the earthquake was over, hopped on his motorcycle and was heading in and drove right off the end of the freeway when the freeway collapsed in front of him. The only blizzard you like is from DQ. True that. Oh yeah, I see enough typos on these that I usually figure out what you really meant. Autocorrect is not necessarily your friend. I guess a blizzard wouldn't be too bad if I could just stay home and didn't have to do anything. I've never experienced one, but I've studied them a little bit. I guess I don't want to see one firsthand, but I do have the storm shelter, so we're ready. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the live stream here, so gonna finish off my water. No more water. I hope we get a little snow this year too. I mean, we've gotten snow every year that I've been here, so that's fun. And it's just here a little time and it's gone. It isn't like up north where you freeze solid for 4 months out of the year. That's no fun. I wouldn't want to do that. But it's here. Snow when it snows here, it's just here long enough where it's enjoyable before it gets annoying. Yeah, I think you're right, Rhonda. I'm going to pull the plug on this one. Thanks for stopping in, Charlotte and Logan. Kisses right back to you. And thanks everyone else for stopping in. This was a fun one. See you next week. Good night.